Is US market really driving the DLP evolution? That is today's topic. I have my own point of view, and it is not necessary that everyone agrees to it, but I see a couple of challenges that are visible in other markets and which are not a problem in the US market. So, first of all, it's money. US market overall, all the consumers, everyone who wants to be passionate about security, they can do it without really thinking about too much of an expenditure. There are certain options that are available in the US market. If someone has to stay compliant without spending too much money, they can rely on Microsoft Purview. If they are more concerned about their security, they can go to Netscope, which is also a good option. Semantic is best of the best still. However, they are not evolving at a pace that was expected from them. Having said that, still US market has a lot of options. They are trying to comply themselves. They have some huge amounts of budgets allocated to their security posture. It's improving. Everything is going good. Resources are there, although there are certain issues with the availability of good security resources, but still there are teams, there are people, and there is technology which is helping everyone out. However, when we take a look at the European market compared to US market, there are certain challenges. One is the economy. No one is kind of ready to spend so much money on the security. Although there are good educational institutions and there is good research work in the European market, however, when it comes to implementing the security controls in the corporate world, we see a lot of lacking. One major issue is the GDPR. In order to comply to GDPR, most of the organizations tend to not use a DLP solution or a CASB solution that looks specifically into the user data. That is why companies are reluctant. They feel they are tied from the regulations, from the law of the land, and that's why they are not very enthusiastic about the DLP solutions. Now, if we talk about the Asian markets, they have the issue with the money, and economy is not that strong. That is why still they are focusing more on basic security measures, and zero trust security is now booming in the Asian market. However, it's not to the point where we can compare it with the US market or the European market.